Welcome back to episode 5 of Little Treasure Cove. Oops, I just said that in my real voice. Last week, Starport and I made great progress with Main Street, adding multiple shops and a 360 power flat ride. This week, PoetrySlam78 was tasked with adding the Hammer Swing, one of the biggest rides in the game. But goodness did she nail it. PoetrySlam78 is one of the most popular Planet Coaster streamers on Twitch. Here's just a small taste of the madness that goes on over there.
Boop, you're it. I like to be it. Look at how derp this is. What a little derp machine. I love it. Oh, baby. There we go.
Ooh, nice build.
Ooh, baby. Thank you so much. Oh my God. What?
It's never a dull day when Poet is streaming, that's for sure. Without further ado, here she is to present her build.
Hello everybody, my name is PoetrySlam. Most of you probably know me as Poet or Po. I have to say, I was really surprised and super excited that Moomin asked me to be a part of Little Treasure Cove. As you all know, I loved his Little Rock Ridge series. I've talked about it several times. And of course, A Very British Park is one of my favorite things of all time. So you can imagine my excitement when I got a message from Moomin asking if I would like to do a build for Little Treasure Cove. I don't know that I deserve to be with so many legendary creators, but I did put my best efforts into it and hope that I made something, that's pretty good. I don't know. The challenge, of course, was no TMTK and no DLC. A lot of you who watch my streams know that I love TMTK, but what a lot of you might not know is that I've only been using it for about 6 months. Prior to around June of this year, I never really used TMTK. I had never even gone to the workshop, so the no TMTK wasn't a challenge. The no DLC really wasn't even a challenge, especially with a pirate theme. The true challenge for me was the piece count. Doing it in a blueprint size, limited to 4,000 pieces when I wanted to smash so much detail into there, was really not very easy for me. However, I checked and checked and checked as I was going along, and I managed to do it. I think I actually came in a little less than 3,000 pieces, which is pretty good. I did sneak my peeing penguin in there. We'll see if Moomin removes it, as it is a DLC piece. But, that little guy travels with me wherever I go. I really had a lot of fun revisiting the pirate theme. As one of the people who started playing this game the day it came out, pirate was one of the first themes we got, and I used it exhaustively, to be honest. Everything was pirate or Western themed when I first started to build, and I haven't done pirate theme in a few years now. So it was really nice to be able to kind of go back and revisit those old pieces and use them in ways that I would not have been able to use them 5 years ago. There were a couple of little things there that I did. I recolored some of the flowers on a grayscale to look like barnacles growing along the stone wall. And I don't know if it was really effective, but it looks cool. I like it. I really like to use a lot of texture in my builds. So that's what I did here. I'm being a little bit too verbose right now. I need to start exercising some brevity, as this isn't the Poet Show, it's the Moomin Show. Moomin, thank you so very much for giving me this amazing opportunity to be part of something so beautiful and be surrounded by so many amazing creators and creative minds. I do appreciate that. And to everyone else, I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.
The level of detail in this build is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm in complete awe of her talent in this game. Just to the left of Poet's new ride used to be Furana's incredible Chief Beef and Cosmic Cow combo, and when it came to replacing it, I certainly felt the pressure. A key image I had from the start was to have the giant shipwreck as part of the roof. This was actually inspired by the USS Constitution from Fallout 4. With the ship assembled, I created a simple 2-meter pitched roof to use as a template for my own custom one. For this, I used wooden columns and pillars. I spent more time than I'd care to admit spacing these beams out evenly. With the basis of my custom roof complete, I could remove my template. I positioned the shipwreck before making a start on the roof itself using planks. I then worked the planks around the curvature of the ship, leaving the odd gap to imply it's falling apart, much like the wreck. I created a temporary building on a different grid in order to line up the roof accordingly. With the roof complete, I could make a start on the main build. I chucked in some various wood textures, splitting the build into 4 sections. I added some gable ends and gave it a nice trim. For this end, I decided on toilets, as this area of the park was considerably lacking. I added a more natural wooden floor, as I don't like the modern wood, because, look, I just don't want to talk about it, alright? To introduce some height variation and avoid a boxy build, I added a first floor balcony, or second floor for you silly Americans. The main purpose of this build is to act as an aesthetic transition between the topspin and the hammer swing. The colours and theming of each ride slowly blended until they meet in the middle. I started this process by using the red accent colour from the boatswain on this side of the build. Next came the usual doors, windows, wall decorations and trims. Right now I'm having to pause doing my narration because Google Chrome has crashed and I can't read my script. Moving on to section 2, this is where we start to very subtly bring in colour from the hammer swing by colouring the trim white. I opened up the front ready for a nice small food court. I placed down some food and drink before doing the pathing, which definitely didn't take way longer than the video shows. After giving the shops the usual art-shaped treatment, I popped some fascias on the front. Look, I told you already, I'm not talking about the modern wood flooring. I decided to add some advertising screens above the shops, but then to my delight found out that Frontier didn't supply images or videos for Hot Dog Squad, so I had to swap it out, which is great. I don't just add trims to the outside of builds, oh no, I'm adding trims to the inside too. I popped some simple shelving on the wall before shoving a lid on top. Next came windows and, you guessed it, more trims. Something Little Rock Ridge was lacking was ATMs, so in an effort to improve that this time around, I added one here in the form of a pirate treasury. See if you can guess what two colours will be used for this section. If you said green and yellow, you'd be terribly wrong, and I recommend you seek help. The colours are of course white and teal. Give yourself a pat on the back if you got that right. This is actually the common misspelling of doubloons, but more people recognise it spelt this way, so on this occasion we must give in to stupidity. For the final building, I essentially just replicated one of Poet's builds from the hammer swing, as this is the final transition point before her ride. Once again, I copied my custom door, and then copied my wall decorate. This is all my creation and no one else's. Our row of shops and facilities of course need a service entrance, so I created a shutter and a staff door. I tarmacked the area using terrain paint and blended it with some dirt. We of course need to hide the backstage as best we can, so I built some wooden flats using balcony pieces and pillars. Remember what flats are, everyone? In theatre, these are called flats. Now, don't say I never teach you anything. I added a few pieces of backstage clutter before copying the scenery flats to the other side. I created an array of black panels the same dimensions as the build, and then placed them just below the roof to give the impression of darkness when looking in from above. Last but not least came the lighting. I used area lights for some ambient colour, box lights for the ceiling and roof, as well as various wall lights. And there we have it, a row of shops and easily the best hammer swing I've ever seen. Next week, Nerd Chacho is back yet again to add the second of 2 coasters to the park. See you then.